Let's imagine ourselves immersed in a city we have never been before. What do we do immediately? We will probably look around what is near us, observe what others are wearing, etc. These are all rooted in our natural behavior to understand the social classification around us and often happen unconsciously. Now, let's focus back to Frankenstein. In Mary Shelley's society, what ways does social classification and rejection in Frankenstein shape the creature's psychological development and sense of identity? My answer is, the creature's moral identity is shaped not by innate monstrosity, but social classification and rejection, as in-group favoritism denies his attachment and disrupts the formation of his superego from a lack of ethical guidance from his parent figures. First of all, let's define what an in-group bias is. It is a natural tendency to favor, trust, and positively evaluate members of one's own group over outsiders, and it is driven by a desire for an individual's social belonging and safety. A good example to think about is when we are playing sports. It is common to see athletes, coaches, and fans showing preferential treatments, positive evaluations, and higher trust towards members of their own team or demographic over the outsiders. In the novel Frankenstein, the creature is the out group, while other people are the in group, purely based on appearance. Characters label the creature as a monster, and naturally assume that his appearance correlates to his demeanor. This becomes evident when the monster gets shot by the father of the young girl he saved from drowning in a rushing stream. Although his act was out of benevolence, the father assumed that he had hurt his child only based on the creature's appearance. This is one of the events that led him to believe that society overly fixates on looks rather than one's act of kindness, making him feel helpless in forming any social bonds. Paula Feldman's paper titled "Probing the Psychological Mystery of Frankenstein" states, quote, "While Frankenstein is accepted by society but chooses isolation, his creature is an outcast but yearns for companionship. Frankenstein is selfish and egocentric, but his creature is benevolent, sympathetic, and kind, transformed only by the cruelty and neglect of society," end quote. These lines make it evident that appearance is a powerful tool that people use to judge another, and the treatment resulting from it has a devastating effect on the creature. Ultimately, the in-group bias rooted from appearance is what led to the downfall of the creature, where he commits murder. Aaron Shebosh-Demir, who wrote the paper titled "Frankenstein, Self-Body Creation and Monstrosity," states, quote, "The monster is a monster because of his size and ugliness, that is, his mere material being. This is a monstrous reduction of humanness. The first human to warp the potential humanity of the creature by rejecting him completely is ironically his own creator," end quote. These lines demonstrate that the creature not only goes through more harsh scrutiny to the public, but the rejection from its creator is ironically what frames the creature as inhumane and miserable. So let's analyze more about its creator, or in psychology terms, parenting style. Throughout the novel, the creature did not have a stable parent figure, meaning that he had trouble forming attachment. One example of attachment are babies toward their mother. Babies are attached to the first moving object they see, who is usually their mother, and have a critical role in a child's early development. The creature shows an anxious attachment to both parent figures we'll discuss today, who are Frankenstein and De Lacy. This rooted from how the society treated him, shown by his fear of abandonment and a low self-esteem. Let's analyze both of the parent figures' roles. Victor has a neglectful parenting style. He chooses to be emotionally detached from the creature and remains uninvolved in his life. This doesn't come from his uninterest, but the fear and hatred he feels toward the creature. In the same paper, Feldman suggests, quote, "Victor Frankenstein's flight from his newborn creation makes sense as a scene of unendurable self-confrontation. We talk about how Victor has achieved his self-imposed isolation in Ingolstadt by repressing something in himself that the creature embodies, and creature is forced to lead a life of his own, acting out what Victor is struggling to keep from consciousness," end quote, which further illustrates the creature's position as an outgroup and the impact of a neglectful parenting style. On the other hand, De Lacy has an authoritative parenting style. It is perceived as one of the best parenting styles in psychology, as it promotes independence and emotional regulation of the child. In this style, a parent sets clear, reasonable boundaries while being responsive, nurturing, and communicative to their child. As a parent figure, D. Lacey gives trust and care to the creature, where he listens and sympathizes with his story. He specifically states, quote, "The heart of men, when unprejudiced, are full of brotherly love and charity," end quote, which characterizes his morale and kindness that creature rarely receives from others. However, because the creature was abruptly chased out by D. Lacey's son Felix and only left with Victor's neglect, he lost a parent figure to look up to and therefore lacks ethical and emotional guidance. This explains how the creature's anxious attachment took a worse turn and became a motive to kill Elizabeth. Ultimately, this is when his development of a superego was disrupted. Superego is a part of a person's mind that acts as a moral compass, your scale of what is right or wrong. Superego goes along with a few more concepts, including id and ego. Think of superego as an angel on your shoulder, id as a devil on your other shoulder, and ego as a balance beam to navigate them. The disruption of a superego development can lead to one acting overly self-destructive, feeling severe guilt or depression, or an antisocial behavior. This is seen from the creature's malice to kill Elizabeth, which is his attempt to have revenge towards his creator, Victor. Therefore, although we see an effort from the creature to focus on his internal abilities, society's rejection, specifically anger, favoritism, unstable attachment, and disruption of superego, has shaped his violence towards the end. Every day, we make small decisions to accept or deny people. We choose whose word to listen to or not. They might seem insignificant, but people have power. We unconsciously shape those around us while also being shaped by those around us, although the impact might not be shown immediately. Frankenstein teaches us a valuable lesson by satirizing the society today, where a fickle appearance defines one's value. Like how we would observe and categorize the people around us when we are in a new city, the same happens to Frankenstein. In this way, Shelley motivates us to recognize that the boundary between human and monster is not defined by appearance, but by how we choose to treat others. So, wherever you are, what kind of person will you choose to be? What kind of influence do you want to give to those around you?